If you went to the Port Authority website, a simple Google search will find it for you. You will find the names of the commissioners who will vote on the path increase. Note one name, Raymond Pocino, appointed to this board by Governor McGreevey in 2002. His bio said he spent 50 plus years as a labor manager, specifically LALUNA, which means Laborers International Union of North America. The orange t-shirts were supplied by this union. Wouldn't you consider this a conflict of interest?
I don't think there's a reason for it. I think everybody here knows why we're here. And there's a reason why we're here. A lot of us are unemployed. Alright? We all need jobs, and you know what? We really can't wait, like the other gentleman said, we can't wait to find an alternate route. We need jobs now, alright? And you know what? These tolls are going to be spiking soon. Hopefully they do spike soon, because you know what? It's going to create hundreds and thousands of jobs for us, you know? And it's desperately needed. It's desperately needed. I would like to applaud the Port Authority to take the hard but necessary actions to do this. And I understand that you might get some criticism, but it is necessary. And if you look at all these people here, we're all in support. I believe that the middle class, which we are the middle class, is speaking out, and we want this to happen. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Jerry Gallier, G-E-R-R-Y, B as in brother, A-L-M-I-R. I am the Government and Community Relations Representative for the Laborers International Union of North America, a Trenton resident and frequent commuter to New York City. I am proud to offer my support for the Port Authority's $33 billion 10-year capital plan, upgrading and repairing bridges and tunnels, expanding bus accommodations, improving safety and security conditions throughout the region, building a new Bayonne Bridge, which is also important, large capacity ships, and improving facilities along the path line. All of these are good investments for our region, ones whose benefits outweigh the cost. Another positive aspect of the Port Authority capital plan is the main element of job creation. Based on Federal Highway Authority's research, which estimates that 27,000 jobs are created for every $1 billion investment in infrastructure, the Port Authority capital plan would support 918,000 jobs over 10 years. I do not want to minimize the importance of job creation in this construction industry. It is the industry hardest hit by the Great Recession. Unemployment rates are above 20%. Businesses closing and back office layoffs are extremely high. Moreover, as an industry that often lags behind the rest of the economy, the short and medium-term outlook for construction is quite bleak. The capital plan will put tens of thousands of men and women, residents within the Port Authority, 17 county jurisdictions to work. This helps families, it helps communities, and it helps the Port Authority complete these very important and urgently needed projects. Make no doubt, there is a burden to bear for users, but there is also hidden toll thanks to congestion, delays, and despair, not to mention the increased vulnerability due to safety and security concerns. We must make sure our transportations are affordable and accessible, but that needs to be balanced with efficiency. The capital plan will, in the long run, bring better value to the consumers, and that should be the important consideration. Good projects that will create much needed jobs are on the drawing board, which is why I support Port Authority's plan. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Thanks for the opportunity to be here. I am opposed to this toll and path increase. While I fully understand the need for infrastructure repair, the various tunnels, bridges, and roadways leading to them, Port Authority's responsibility. The raising of the Bayonne Bridge is very important. Obviously, these things are going to be funded, and if they're funded, a lot of these people here will get an opportunity to go to work, and I understand about it. I'm not going to You guys will be doing me by the time I finish. But we know about the 50% unemployment in general, laborers, electricians, iron workers, carpenters, all the trade unions. However, during this economic malaise, as I've been referring to it for the last 2.5, 3 years, the new Great Depression, coming up with this kind of coal increase is going to be a huge burden on working families. It's going to be a huge burden on financially challenged folks who live in this vicinity and have to take the PATH train, all the bridges, all the tunnels. Further, I think in the big picture and the long run, these tolls, these bridges, the PATH train, our city generates hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions in state income tax dollars from Jersey. They flow to Trenton every year. So we're going to be put at a competitive disadvantage. The attractiveness of our city, the great boom rate that we have is access to Midtown and downtown Manhattan, through the tunnels and through the PATH trains. And an increase like this, at this time, and particularly of this magnitude, it's going to hurt investment in our city, which is going to hurt everybody in this room. More investment in this city, more building, more development, more jobs for everybody here, more taxes for our city, and relieve the burden on the taxpayers. So what I'm saying, it's a terrible time to impose this increase, particularly an increase of this magnitude, which is unprecedented. $8 to $15, $1.75 to $2.75. Roll something in, a smaller increase, and roll it in gradually, and I think everybody can be accommodated. But this is way too much, and one fell swoop to do it. It's going to be a big burden on our city. It's going to make our city less attractive for investment and development, and ultimately it's going to be hurtful to the state and everybody else in this room. Thank you.
My name is Debbie Hardland. That's DebbieCarthan, and I'm a resident of Jersey City. And I do commute to New York daily, and I pay my $8 toll every day. And what I'm here to say today, that I probably speak for many New Jerseyans, I am opposed to the toll increase that you guys are proposing. It is ridiculous. If you're going to raise the toll, you gotta be sensible about it. Nearly 50% is just too much for anybody. And you mean to tell me if you're gonna pay cash, you're gonna go from $8 to $15? That's ridiculous. And I really think that you guys need to reconsider what you're doing to New Jersey, doing to us. And I don't think it's fair. I understand that guys are out of work. I understand that. But think about the burden that you're going to be placing on many families here in New Jersey. And again, I'm opposed to it, and I don't think it's fair. And you guys need to reconsider how much you're going to raise the toll. Thank you.
Stephen Fulop, Councilman 40. I have the privilege of representing this area that has the Holland Tunnel and the 3 PATH stations. I would say first and foremost that the mayor and I absolutely agree, and I can speak on behalf of the entire council that passed the resolution that we are all adamantly opposed to this, that we cannot say that strong enough, the importance of this not moving forward. I would say by definition, this is a regressive tax. This is a tax that is going to hurt the working people in Jersey City and throughout the states more than anybody else. And it is a sad day when we live in a state that protects millionaires and vetoes millionaire taxes, and at the same time has working laborers here pitted against the working class fighting over a tax increase at the PATH and at the tolls. There are other options. Nowhere in this proposal do they talk about tax increases at the airlines that the Port Authority does control. There are other options other than hurting the people that use the PATH system day in and day out to get to work, to make an honest living. So, again, on behalf of the council, I can express strongly how much we do oppose this. Thank you.
Diego Santos, Jersey City Peace Movement, SANTOS. First of all, let me thank you for having this public hearing in such a convenient location and such convenient times. I am for most of these labor projects. However, I'm According to your numbers, 2007, the Port Authority made $0.94 billion in profit. 2008, $1 billion profit. 2009, $1.1 billion profit. 2010, $1 billion profit. This is from your website, from your numbers. Altogether, that's $4.1 billion you guys made in profit over the last 4 years, not including this year, which I reckon will be another $1 billion profit. So that's $5 billion you guys have. The George Washington Bridge proposal, $1 billion. Lincoln Tunnel, 1.5. Bayonne Bridge, $1 billion. The Busket Garage, $800 million. The Airport Street, $360 million. So that, altogether, that's $4.6 billion that these projects are going to cost. But we have, supposedly, unless, all this money disappeared, $5 billion in profits made. So where did all this money go? How many jobs are going to be lost if we can't even afford to travel nowadays? How many families are going to be forced to relocate if we can't afford to travel? 40% of my own personal business comes from the New York City crowd. If we increase the tunnels, I'm going to be out of business in 6 months. And how many other businesses are going to be hurt due to this? We got the Franklin Home Depot here, the Best Buy, the Target. How many jobs are going to be lost if we increase the fares and tunnels? Once again, we're for the labor, we're for the jobs. You guys come up with the money. Don't do it up with the poor and middle class. You got insurance, you got state grants, you got federal grants, you got other things, other options that you can weigh in on. Thank you very much.
Freeholder Anthony Romano, representing Hoboken, New Jersey City. I'm here on behalf of our Hudson County Board of Joseph Freeholders and Bill O'Day, also to give you our resolution opposing the proposed increases. I think things that were said here tonight are very important. I think that there has to be negotiation, has to be talk on increases. That hitting everyone this hard, especially in an area where everyone uses mass transit, is detrimental to the whole economy. But at the same time, we need work for our people. That is important to support our unions and labor, whether it be these workers, whether it be those police officers, whether it be anybody. We ask you and the Port Authority, please reconsider to take the necessary steps to make the people aware of what you're going to do, and to do it, if you're going to do it in increments, and to keep the numbers low. We need this area. It's very important. There's a lot of people that use all your services. Please think of us, and thank you.
My name is John Gelman. I am an officer of Hamilton Park Neighborhood Association, resident of downtown Jersey City here. The whole neighborhood here, most people commute to the city one way or another. My wife goes to Brooklyn. She's got double fare. Well, lots of things have been said here, but I think what's most important is about fairness of all of these projects, which are undeniably useful and beneficial to the economy of the entire region. But somehow only New Jersey commuters are being asked to foot the bill. The World Trade Center, which is the overwhelming part of this capital budget, benefits downtown New York in general, but where are they being asked to share the pain? Why is it that only New Jersey commuters are being asked? Only because they're the ones that are easier to jack for this? I don't understand that. Thank you.
New Jersey has one of the lowest gasoline taxes in the entire country. There's something wrong with that when we have the highest mass transit fares in the entire country. So it is everyone here that is looking for these infrastructure projects that we all need and desperately need, and every 5 years goes by, our transit systems and our road systems are failing, is to go look to Trenton to put the gas at where it needs to be, where New York's is, and let us generate the funds under shared sacrifice to get these projects in the pipeline and get everything working and allow people to efficiently and affordable manner to get to work. So look to Trenton. Look to Trenton where they canceled the Arm Tunnel project that took work from all the Yellow Strip union members here in this room. So it's about shared sacrifice and getting to work together. So this fare is putting the burden on the working, low-income, middle-class families of Hudson County and New Jersey. It's time to start planning smart, not planning politically, and reduce these fares, make them more affordable in a reasonable manner. And 2 weeks of hearings is clearly insufficient. Who's ever been to this building before this hearing? God knows how you, I had to Google it. I go by 1 block away, 6 days a week to work, 2 round trips. Yet I had to Google this building to figure out where this hearing was. Who else is going to do that? You need to extend these hearings. You need to give people a voice in their government and government agencies. So thank you. Please reconsider.
My name is Yvonne Bolster. I'm a community activist. I also produce shows for Comcast, Speaking J from Channel 51. I'm reading a letter I had in the Reporter last Sunday. The Port Authority has outlived its usefulness. This agency has the sovereign right to raise fares beyond what many commuters can pay. This is especially true of northern New Jersey cab riders who take the light rail or the bus, then the pass, and finally the New York City subway to commute to work. Compare that to New York City subway riders who go from the Bronx to Staten Island on one fare. The Port Authority is taking advantage of poor economic times, but they know full well the public has to pay. If they don't, they can't get to work, or to their doctors, or to their schools. The bottom line is, this is extortion by a public entity. Yes. The governors of New York and New Jersey who expressed shock and dismay at this outrageous hike can prove it by not approving this when it comes to your desk. This is also an example of taxation without representation because the public does not elect the people to this board. We don't, but we have to pay the fee. And let's be realistic. An increase will not eliminate the traffic jam at the Harlem Tunnel, which affects Jersey City air, nor will it provide a seat on the path during rush hours.
I represent the smallest of the small business owners. I live in Secaucus, New Jersey. I'm a self-employed dog groomer that does private residential service in Manhattan. I drive into the city 5 days a week and work all over the city. I'm 59 years old. I moved to New Jersey 7 years ago after residing in the city for 30 years and living through 3 terrorist attacks, all within blocks of my home where I raised my family. 23 years ago, I was a former Wall Street trader. I started my grooming business when I was laid off from Merrill Lynch in the last recession, where everybody thought the sky was falling. I raised my son in my tiny business that I had struggled years to build. As a sole proprietor of this little business, I can't get my bank to refinance my mortgage, but you can raise the tolls to support the mismanagement and waste created by this bloated agency whose left hand barely recognizes its right. Money can be borrowed at the lowest interest rate in recent history, and these projects that are proposed should be considered this abundance of cash that's held by the banks. I try to have a small footprint on this earth. I bought a small smart car. I schedule my days so I can park and walk as much as possible. Because public transportation does not walk for work for me, I have to carry bulky equipment, and many of the areas I work in don't have transportation. I already pay a commuter tax. I put money in parking meters. Why should small business owners like me have to support this increase when better management and administration would be the first step to fiscal health? The jobs promised to these laborers should be part of the stimulus package of the government, who has yet to hold any banker or brokerage house accountable for the state of this economy, and not the food off my table or the sweat off my back. The $900+ I will be forced to pay will directly impact my ability to fund my retirement as a self-employed middle-class citizen. Thank you very much.
I'm Eric Anders Nilsson, N-I-L-S-S-O-N. I'm also the director of Jersey City Peace Movement here in Jersey City. I spoke at the 8 o'clock meeting. I just want to say that I find it appalling that you schedule these meetings at such odd times on one day in the most unacceptable locations. You could have rented the Lowe's Theater across the street from the Path in General Square, where the citizens who use this could come free. That's number one. Number two, as I said this morning, I'm a union member. I belong to 2 unions, and I'm with your sisters and brothers here. I support you. You should be working. You should be working. What I'm going to talk about is the big elephant in the room, and that's the war. The war budget is the one budget that has not been cut. It's been increased. Your jobs are in Afghanistan, your jobs are in Iraq, now they're attacking Libya and Iran. When is it going to stop? We've got to take care of the infrastructure here in the United States of America. This is a shame. So we support you. We want these jobs done. And the Port Authority budgets for these changes, these fixtures, these upkeep of the Holland Tunnel and the bridges. Where's that money? Where is the insurance money that was done from the horrific terror attacks on 9/11? What did Larry Silverstein do with that money? Why are we paying for the rebuilding? The people of New Jersey also are paying for the rebuilding of that. Those horrific attacks. And I want to make another point. My father helped build that building. He put the floors in that building. I was there as a little boy with him, putting those raised floors in there. We're calling for an audit. I want the books audited, and this isn't some radical thing. This is what Senator Menendez is calling for an audit of the books. Where's the money? What a slap in the face. What a slap in the face it is. On the 10th anniversary, on the horrific attacks of 9/11, for you to raise, double in some instances, 65% in others, to raise on the 10th anniversary month of the horrific attacks of 9/11. What a shame. What a shame. This is an attack on the working class people. As the gentleman who mentioned terrorism, it is terrorism. This is economic terrorism. Are suffering. There are many people out of work. I support the City Council resolutions 100%. Take those into consideration. I have another copy. I gave you one this morning. And I thank Mayor Healy and I thank the entire City Council for doing the right thing. And I call on Chris Christie to veto this. He has veto power. Bring back the new plan. Bring back the new plan. A toll and a fare is a tax. A toll and a fare is a tax, and he promised no new taxes, and he'd be lying if he put this through. One last thing before I go. I know my time is up. Should this go through? Should this plan go through? I want it in writing that every single sister and brother here that showed up to these meetings is guaranteed a job. They're guaranteed a job. Even though the vote, if it goes through, I want it in writing that every person here is working come September. Thank you.
My name is Esther Widner, and I'm here as an American. I firstly would like to say, sir, that as a member of the public, to have these public hearings at 8 in the morning and 6 o'clock at night in venues that are very difficult for people to get to, such as the Holland Tunnel and the airport, doesn't do us justice. There are hardly public hearings when you do that. I secondly would like to talk about the unintended consequences of such an egregious toll and fare hike. We had a 22% increase last year. You're looking at another 57% this year. What it does is further drive a wedge between working people such as myself and the people that are sitting here looking for work. When we cannot afford to do this, then you do not get your money and these people get no work. You do not trump the law of economics. What happens is, in this depression that we're living through, is that you have to make the Port Authority transit more accessible so that people can, in fact, spend money, move, and get to their jobs. As you take more money out of our income, there's less money for us to spend. I'd also like to say that when I read the proposal and I saw the $11 billion that it would cost us, the commuters, to rebuild the World Trade Center, I was completely and totally insulted by something like that. As someone who worked downtown and lived through the World Trade Center, the 9/11 attacks, an attack on all of America, to now say that we, the working people, the commuters of New Jersey, will have to bear that burden to pay for that is wrong. I think it is important. was